Alright, greetings and salutations, people of the internet. It's your boy the Nomad, and welcome back to another episode of Critique the Clip. And in this episode, we'll be covering heroine body types within pop culture, and whether or not there needs to be a little bit more variety. Without any further ado, let's get it cracking.
In 2002, the photographer Howard Schatz published a photo collection called Athlete, featuring pictures of, various top athletes from every sport and genre. These are some of the women he photographed, and the thing I want you to do in your head right now is compare the variety of humans that you're seeing here to the variety of humans that you see in the cast list of your favorite video games. These women are all in peak human condition for their chosen fields. If you wanted to design a character who's tough and strong, these are the kinds of bodies that theoretically you should look to for reference on what that looks like. You tell me, how many video games or comics or movies or anime create their characters with even this limited amount of variety in shape and size? Of course, realism is not the end-all and be-all. Fantasy characters don't need to be realistic, but if you're given the chance to make a character look like literally anything and justify it by magic, and the only thing you do is reproduce the same 3 or 4 generically hot women over and over again, you are doing character design very poorly, in my opinion. Subscribe to this channel for more reactions and hot takes, or head on.
Alright. So as you guys just heard, this gentleman in this video feels as though there's not enough variety when it comes to heroines within pop culture. And to that, I'm gonna have to slightly disagree. Now, don't get me wrong, the points that he's referring to are very good. As in, when you're looking at peak physical human condition, it's an arrangement of body types. However, I do kind of want to touch on one thing that I feel like is not touched on enough when it comes to character conception. So one of the things that I feel like so many people ignore when it comes to body types in heroines and even heroes as well is that superheroes need to be peak in all aspects. Now, notice that when you look into this video, as he just mentioned, there's an arrangement of body types, a plethora of different body types coming from various different sports. Now, when it comes to these sports, they all have development in certain aspects akin to whatever sport they're in. However, when you're talking about a superhero or a superheroine, there's going to be a plethora of things that they have to do and have to be capable of that require certain levels of conditioning akin to a multitude of sports. So for instance, when I think of somebody like Wonder Woman has to be in peak physical human conditioning to be a fighter. Now, when it comes to fighting, she's not going to necessarily have the same build as somebody who does shot put, or somebody who's a volleyball player, or somebody who's a Olympic bodybuilder. Their goals are completely different. And when you're designing a superhero, you want them to be perfect when it comes to being able to do so many different things. The peak physical human condition in the real world isn't the same when we're discussing superheroes. And a lot of the times we call it unrealistic, not realizing that this unrealistic measure is actually realistic for what the superheroes have to deal with. Take for instance Batman. Batman is not only capable of using every martial art known to man, but he's also fast. He's also physically conditioned to be able to have hours worth of energy in his gas tank to be fighting with individuals. Sometimes it's more than one individual. Notice I said individuals. So there's so many different ways you can bring somebody up to look when they're doing other things, but when they're doing one set thing and all of them have the commonality of crime fighting or fighting the big bad boss or something like that, they're all going to look a certain kind of way because they all have a similar mission. So what we deem unrealistic is actually realistic if everybody has the same goal in mind. Now, as far as looking at some of these superheroes and saying, okay, we can discuss whether or not their body composition is going to look the same, but what about the attractiveness? Why is it that so many times there's this like layer of sexiness, especially when it comes to female hero designs? And even as this brother just pointed out, the standard generic hot looking woman. Well, there's a reason for that, and that is maintaining the audience. When it comes to maintaining the audience, pop culture in general sells to a overwhelmingly majority male population. So with that being said, they're going to maintain a certain kind of look to attract a certain kind of audience, And so when going in and designing some of these characters, they're keeping the audience in mind. However, I do have to disagree, with the fact that it's all just generically hot. You know, when it comes to hot, it's gonna be give or take depending on who the person is. Like when, for instance, I have a couple of superheroes posted up over here. When I think about somebody like Misty Knight, you know, there's a black female superhero who doesn't look the exact same as Wonder Woman. However, I believe that these would fall into the category of your stereotypical or your standard hot heroine. And they don't necessarily look exactly the same. However, they both do the same thing, which is fight crime. So they're going to have a similarity, but I think we shouldn't overgeneralize and start putting a lot of these heroines and even heroes into boxes just because of a level of commonality. I do agree, and I love what he's pointing out in reference to making sure that we're keeping in mind what the hero may do. For instance, when it comes to Bruce Banner does not have the same build or same look as Superman or Batman, or in this instance, Mr. Terrific, another individual who's shredded because he's in combat. He's in combat. And let's go ahead and touch up on Bruce Banner again really quick, because when you think about what superheroes are known for and what they do, sometimes there's going to be slight caveats based off of the way that they fight. So I'll go ahead and touch on that with Hulk really quick. When you take a look at Hulk, he does not look to have the similar build as Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Mr. Terrific. He's not as lean. He's big, he's bulky, he's strong, and he can destroy planets. That's his character. However, when you look at people like Wonder Woman, Misty Knight, Mr. Terrific, Bruce Banner, who's also lean, not too bulky, he's literally perfect for what he's designed to do. These are martial characters, meaning that a lot of them rely heavily on martial arts. For instance, Wonder Woman is a gladiator. Coming from Themyscira, a lot of them are female gladiators, and they look like it. It fits the part. So with that being said, when you see a lot of the similarities or commonalities between your favorite superheroes, don't look at it as being lazy. Look at it as they're maintaining the target audience, they're keeping it realistic based off of the constraints that they have for the superhero, and then not only that, they're also keeping it to where it fits what they're doing. It fits who they are, and it fits what somebody is looking to when they think of a hero who's able to do it all. But that's my opinion, my little soapbox for tonight. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. As always, they're open. If you're agreeing or disagreeing, I do not care. Let's all discuss. Let's have a good time. Thank y'all for everything. Nomad out. Peace. Y'all be blessed.